Hi again, everybody. This is Carl Gullang of Suzanne Jean Flutes. Wanted to basically share a little, little inspection thing that I do every time I create a flute. Now, in the past, when I used to create flutes like the one that I've made here, which I showed earlier, this is a red cedar flute that I actually just made earlier today. The one thing I always want to do is I want to inspect the flute afterwards to make sure that everything inside is clean and everything like that, and generally, just little odds and ends, little quality control type things there. Now, in the past, what I would do is I would do things that I'm sure that a lot of you guys out there who have made flutes have done. I would create like a sand stick, like which I have right here, and then I would go ahead and plunge it into the flute and just do some general sanding around there, just to make sure that all the edges inside are all nice and smooth and everything like that. Well, the problem I had was that I found that if you're using afterwards, if you're just looking in the flute like this, you really can't see very much. And the reason why that is, obviously, is because lighting is limited and everything like that. You can try shining a flashlight in here, but sometimes a flashlight tends to get in the way and everything. So I found a rather interesting little tool that I have been using lately, primarily for my inspections of the flutes that I've made, that I found works beautifully. And it is this device. In case you don't know what this is, this here is a laser pointer. This is actually a laser pointer that I use for my astronomy. I actually practice amateur astronomy, and I use this basically to point at a particular object in the sky that I'm interested in viewing and everything. Well, I found that this thing works beautifully for inspections, because what you can actually do is you can actually take the device, point it right in there, and you get this really cool effect. It looks like a green halo that you can actually run up and down inside the flute to make sure your edges are all properly straight and everything. I wish you could see this. But essentially, this is, again, I don't have the the equipment for this yet. One of these fine days I will, as far as showing you guys how I do this stuff. But anyway, I'm just going in here right now, and I'm just checking the edges and everything. And once I've done that, I find that I've actually done some fairly decent quality control on the flute. Now, I can also go ahead, and if I want, and I can check to make sure that by flashing inside like I'm doing here, I'm looking through the mouthpiece, just to make sure that the hole in there is nice and clean and there's no edges or anything like that around the inside of the mouthpiece going into the short air chamber. I can also do the same thing here by checking the edge here at the true sound hole to make sure that the edges there are nice and clean and that there are no splinters or anything like that hanging in. So this is actually a nice little device to use for your inspections. Now, I actually got this one from an astronomy supply house. I think I paid like around $30 for this thing. But anyway, it's worth the investment. Actually, I got this from Orion. It's an Orion Skyline Deluxe. And Orion makes telescopes, by the way. But anyway, I would recommend you want to get your hands on one of these things and use these for your inspections. I mean, they're wonderful little devices to have. And to be honest with you, they're really cool to use too. I mean, as far as astronomy and stuff like that, and it's just a great little tool. So anyway, it's just a little tool that I wanted to share with you guys, and hope everything's going well with you. If anything, we'll talk to you later on. Again, this is Carl Gullang of Suzanne Jean Flutes. You have a great evening. Take care.